Short and sweet today. I'm going back to the inspirations that I use in all the graduation speeches that I use. My favorite quote by my favorite doctor, Dr. Seuss: "Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind."
I love that one. Okay, please be seated. Okay, I know we have at least one visiting Rotarian in the room today. Jim Green is visiting us from the Greater Grants Pass Rotary Club, also known as the Friday Morning Club. Welcome, Jim. He's got an announcement for us later. I'm scanning the room. And we have a guest. Our speaker is a guest today. We'll introduce him in a little bit. And looking up on Zoom land, it looks like just our folks, although some of them look like they're in a nice sunny locale. All right, well, welcome to everyone. Okay, a few announcements. First one, we have been discussing as a board, based on some feedback from club members, sort of the arrangement of our club agendas and how we get started, and more specifically with the Pledge of Allegiance. It's something that we've been having a lot of conversation about for several months now. And in trying to find a nice little balance, a way of coming up with a compromise that might fit all of the different viewpoints that there are about this, we've decided we're going to try something out for a few months. So the compromise that we've decided to try for a few months is to do the Pledge of Allegiance on the first and third weeks of the month, and then to do the four-way test, to recite the four-way test on the other weeks of the month. And we'd like to try this out just to kind of see how it feels as a club, and to be able to get some feedback from club members. So if you have questions or concerns or comments that you want to share, to please reach out to me with those. And we're going to test this out and see how it feels for a little bit. And see how that goes and move forward from there. If we want to try something else new out, if it's something that we feel we want to bring to the club for further discussion, we can do that. But we thought this was a place to start, again, to try to find a little bit of compromise and work it out. So if you have questions or concerns or comments, please do reach out to me. We do want to hear those, but starting next month, we're going to try to do the pledge, the first and third, and then recite the four-way test for the Rotary. So please do reach out again, like I said. Other announcements. Jim, I think you are here to tell us something about a project that the Friday Club is working on. If you want to come up to the mic so our folks on Zoom can hear.
Nice to be back here after a couple of years off COVID. I don't think I need that. Okay, all right. After several years off, the Friday Morning Club is going back, and we're doing our fundraiser, first fresh. What we've done is the first Saturday of March 4th, and it will be down at the fairgrounds again as usual, same place. We have booked 9 wineries and 8 restaurants and a bunch of good raffle prizes and the music and anyway, great entertainment. Those of you who've been there, oh, what a good time it is. If you haven't been there, show up. Tickets are available at the chamber office and at Sandy's Candies and online at firstfresh.com. Thanks, Steve.
Yes, firstfreshtickets.com. All right. For the rest of the folks who've got announcements, if you want to come up here, I know Greg has an announcement about our Super Bowl pool. Yes. Oh, okay.
All right, I'll go first.
Yeah.
2 weeks to go before the little football game. And we have some more party arrangements that Patty's going to tell you about. We only have 14 squares left on the first pool. Remember, we're doing this to try to get every Rotarian every year donating the minimum of $25, but we have an incentive. If you donate $100, you get a $100 points matched with your Paul Harris Fellow recognition points. And if you sign up for Rotary Direct, you get a free square. If you've already signed up for Rotary Direct, you still get a free square. Judy, you still have one more square to get. And Doug, I know is on Zoom, but Doug, you have a free square too. And there's about 18 other people that I have free squares. So we will have to
Ta-da!
do the second pool. So come and get the last 14 slots in the current pool, and then we'll start turning this over and have another pool. Thank you. Go, Patty.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I've learned and I reported last week that we will be having our Super Bowl party at the gallery, the art gallery downtown. It is a family-friendly event, so bring your children and friends. And I did get approval that we can have alcohol there. So that's all I've got. Take care.
All right, Tommy, you have an announcement.
Well, hi there. This is more grant stuff. We had a really nice meeting last sometime. A week ago, 2 weeks ago, I don't know. Anyway, it was great. We had a nice presentation about Ukraine and some of the things that are happening there and some of the things that as Rotarians we can participate in. There's a podcast that's on a lot, and I can give you the URLs and all that good techie stuff. But anyway, it was a nice meeting. And so what I'm here to tell you now is that we have for our club for district grants, we're going to be using one of the club meetings in March for folks that have a grant thought that they want to do to present it to the club so that the club can help decide what our district grant proposals will be. For instance, we joined with the other two clubs, I think two of them, right? Yeah. To do the food out in the IV for the low income kids. One time we did the shoes for kids. And so there's all, and we have done computers for Guatemala, for a school in Guatemala. We did some stuff over in the Middle East. So there, everything is open. The maximum grant is $2,000. They match our $2,000. So it's a $4,000 grant. And if you want it's a very simple application, you know, whatever the project's name is, where it is, a little bit about it. And then if you can get that to me, we'll get it scheduled so that we know how many folks we have that want to present. Anyway, I just wanted you to know that in one of the March meetings, that's what we're going to do. I'm not sure yet of the date because we have some other changes that are happening. So thank you.
Great. All right, Kate.
Hi, I'm Kate Dwyer with your very own Four-Way Community Foundation, and I was at the library the other day, and that place was bursting at the seams. They had to turn kids away from some programs. Our library is too small, and the county wants the building back. So we need to build a new library, and Four-Way is so proud to tell you that we are providing the capstone matching grant for the purchase of the property for our new library. Yeah, so that whole block between 6th and 7th, and I think J and K, where the Purple Parrot is, that is going to be our new 21st century state-of-the-art library. But before we can start gathering the money to build the building, they need to finish purchasing the property, and they're getting really close. So you can make a gift and Four-Way will match it. You can give $10 and we'll match it. You can give $10,000 and we'll match it. You can give $50,000 and we will match it. Up to $250,000, we will match it. Four-Way hasn't made a generational gift like this since the Performing Arts Center, and we are so pleased to be on board with this project. Please, please make a gift to the Library Foundation. You can get to them on their website, or there's a link on the Four-Way website. Make a gift, help us secure this piece of property so we can start raising money to build the building. Thank you.
Thank you. That is very exciting. All right, I want to give a couple of more save the dates. We're going to have the opportunity to have a couple of all club socials, starting in the spring and the summer. So on May 11th, we will be hosting a all club social out at Wildlife Images again. I think we did this last year, and it was a great hit. So we're going to do it again, more details to come. And then the Grants Pass Rotary Club that meets here on Wednesdays has invited all of us to join them for one of their socials on June 23rd. It's going to be out at the Rogue Bowl. They're going to have a band performing. There'll be some food and drinks available to purchase. And it's just for a fun time out at the Rogue Bowl. So if you want to put those on your calendar, more details will come. All right, and I think we are now at that time, and Judy Basker, are you introducing our program today? You're not, Allison is. What makes more sense? Allison, if you want to come up and introduce our speaker for today.
I'm sorry, I'm back. I know I just talked a couple weeks ago. But I am super excited. I have Matt Lund here today, who is the CEO of the Grants Pass YMCA. He is also my boss. Matt joined the Y in 2019. Am I right? Okay, I thought so. And he's brought a lot of expertise with his backgrounds in leadership in other YMCAs, as well as being an executive director of the National Wellness Institute. Since he joined us in 2019, he has made a lot of improvements, and I'm sure he'll talk about those improvements. He brought us from an organization that was struggling to an organization that is growing and thriving now. So here's Matt Lund.
All right, well, good morning and thank you. And I apologize about my voice. My staff have been so kindly to let me know that I am doing better. I got hit with a cold last week, and this is the final end of it, which is good. So thank you for the introduction, and you did a good job. We'll make sure to put that in review. But you know, I love coming out and being able to talk to the community. I've had a chance to present to RCC. I've done it to Siskiyou Health and Kiwanis, other Rotary groups. It just any chance I get to get out and talk with people, I love it, because I love to share what we do at the YMCA. Presentation coming up okay? So there has been quite a bit, and as we get into this presentation here, I'm always curious when I do these presentations on the Y. My first question is, who is currently a member of the Y that's here? We have got to work on that. So, you know, and it doesn't surprise me. There are quite a few people in town that are not a member of the Y, but what is surprising, if I was to tell you that we have over 6,500 active YMCA members, would that number be surprising to you? So 6,500 individuals, and I think we're almost approaching 6,600 last I checked. Active individuals that come in and actually participate in the Y, whether they swim, they work out, they do programs, they come in to our new wellness wing. There is a large part of the community, and in fact, our footprint reaches all the way from Merlin down to Medford. And so we have quite a bit of reach here, whether it's through our youth sports programs or some of our fitness programs. And again, people that travel actually here to Grants Pass because they like our Y better than some of the other Ys, which is fantastic. And in that, since I've been here, since beginning of 2019, we have made over $1.6 million of investment into the Y. We have done a major remodel in our pool area, which it needed. That pool is almost 40 years old. And we've also upgraded a lot of our equipment, a lot of our fitness equipment, weight equipment, a lot of our sports and programs, new supplies. And then our newest addition that we actually just invested roughly about $400,000 in. And I don't know if you guys saw this, it was in the paper, we did make the news with it, but we opened up our new youth enrichment center. I don't know if many of you knew about that, but we now provide full-time childcare, part-time childcare, and preschool in a new center that is right across the street of Redwood Highway from the Y. We were currently licensed at the YMCA, but we can only serve up to about 60 kids. With this new facility, we can actually serve 107 kids in full-time care. So that is much needed since we were in a childcare desert. And so just to give you another number that comes surprising to people is that for the youth that come through and do our programs, we are not done with our audit yet for 2022, but I think we're higher. But in 2021, we actually served more than 2,100 kids through our childcare and youth and sports programs. So we take a lot of pride in what we serve. We serve roughly more than 13,000 people every year just through our one facility. And again, we take a lot of pride in what we do. So let me run through this here, and then I'll love to answer any questions that you have. Maybe. It was working. Okay, so I guess you're my clicker. This one isn't working. All right, so who we are and being the why. So we're going to focus on our mission, our cause, our focus, our impact, and our goals. So go ahead and click on the next one. So our mission, to put Christian principles into practice through programs that build a healthy spirit, mind, and body for all. And we are a nonprofit 501c3 organization. And a lot of people don't know that. So what does this mean? A lot of people, we do even today get questions on, well, I'm not a Christian, so I can't come into your facility. That is not correct. We try to do the best we can for serving for all. What we go by are Christian principles, and that is honesty, caring, respect, and responsibility. And so we welcome all to come into our facility and enjoy what we have to offer, and hope that people, when they come in, respect the Christian principles that we put out. So even though we are the Young Men's Christian Association, we are an organization that's over 176 years old. We started based on Christianity with Bible study, but have adapted and adjusted and have more or less grown into what we are today. And we have had a lot of innovation and diversified what we do. So our cause really overall is to strengthen the foundation of the community and find out where do we need to step in? Where do we need to be the experts? And that's what we look at when we go out and we talk with the community. Every year can be different. So every year I meet with my board and we go through strategic planning and find out how do we serve the community to the best of our ability. And then our focus is on youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. And so that goes from everything from your infant stage all the way to your seniors. And so we want to make sure that all the programs that we offer are reaching everyone, again, from your infant to your senior, to your family, to your single individual, to your married couple, widowed individuals, everybody in our community. We try to make sure we have programs for. So again, we're serving all in our communities. So our goals, this is really wrapping around a 2025 goal that was set from 2019 to 2025. So closing the achievement gap with youth and teens, improving community health and wellness, providing a state-of-the-art facility and quality programs, developing community leaders and volunteers, and expanding the reach of the YMCA. So the YMCA without walls. So our impact, we improve lives, provide purpose, and create opportunity and hope for all as we work with like-minded partners to address the most significant challenges in our diverse and growing community. And so really what this means is we go out and find out if we're not the expert, who can we partner with to make sure our community gets served. And so we partner with District 7, and we also partner with Three Rivers School District and doing after-school care programs for the kids. We can go out and we'll work with, say, Siskiyou Community Health. We also now provide life coaching. And so how can we be a referral base for the healthcare systems that are in our area? And so we're constantly looking to partner and do what we can to make sure, again, we're serving our community. So how do we achieve this? We do it through innovation, diversity, and inclusion. And that is something that I challenge the staff constantly, is that we are to never become stagnant. We don't ever want to become complacent. We want to make sure that we always innovate, that we're always diversifying because our community is always diversifying. And then also, are we being very inclusive? Are we making sure that we are serving youth, that we are serving adults, and then we are serving families? So I did want to share one thing that we're pretty proud of. This construction or remodel that we just did in the Y. It used to be our old youth and teen center. We've now moved the youth and teen center out to the gym area. We took an old closet, remodeled it, built it out, and put this center out there. And now we've actually included a wellness wing at the Y The remodel just finished about 2 months ago, and it's already, we're pretty much bursting at the seams. And it's hard to imagine that a 60,000 square foot building would be full. And when you get an average of about 1,200 to 1,500 people a day coming through your facility, the facility fills up very, very quickly. So this is one of the new additions after we've been talking with people throughout the community and trying to understand what services were needed on the south side, because a lot of people here do not like crossing the river. They stay on the south side, they stay on the north side. It's amazing to me, even in the 4 years I've been here, it's amazing how people don't want to make that crossover. And so a commute of 10 minutes is long, I get it. But so looking at what services we could provide on the south side of town, this is where it was lacking. So we now provide life coaching services. We provide red light therapy. We have a infrared sauna, and then we also have our massage therapy as well. And so this is a picture of our lobby, and we call this the Oasis. And so when people come into the Y and they actually walk back here, every time we take someone for a tour, and I'd encourage you to come check it out, is that they say, we don't feel like we're in the Y anymore. And everything back here is very intentional around making sure that we are focused on calm. All the paint, the color of the paintings, the furniture, everything back there is more focused around this holistic wellness approach. And that is really what we've been focused on. And that was what I focused on when I was actually the CEO of the National Wellness Institute. So this is just the lobby here. If you want to go to the next picture. So this is our life coaching room. We have a nice little fireplace, have some nice chairs for people to come in and sit in. Does anyone know what life coaching is? So if you're not very familiar with it, life coaching is not like going to talk to a psychiatrist. All right, there's no prescription that's given to you. Basically, life coaches get certified and they sit with you and they help you work through anything that you might be struggling with within your journey. And so they sit down, help you to get out of your own way, simply have open-ended conversations, and more or less help you guide yourself. And so the life coaching has helped many, especially within our chronic pain programs and our weight loss programs. And when we've implemented the life coaching in those programs as well. So life coaching has been a great thing and is becoming more and more popular. This is one of our 3 massage therapy rooms that we have back there. And we have 2 certified massage therapists that are actually hired and work for the Y. And the next one. So this is our red light therapy. Has anyone ever heard of red light therapy or done red light therapy? This is a huge benefit. I use it myself. So over the years, I played basketball in college. I played basketball semi-pro. My body has taken a beating over the years, and I actually use red light therapy myself for my hips and my knees because I'm already arthritic, which is tough to admit being at my age, but it's just a sign of I used my body when I was younger. And so this really helps. Some of the benefits that are there, promotes cellular growth, improves circulation, reduces recovery time, reduces inflammation, and reduces arthritic pain. And this red light therapy, a lot of people are starting to enjoy it. And again, it's becoming very busy back in this area, but this is a new type of program that we offer at the Y. So this is, again, an innovation. We're not just a place you come for weights. We're not just a place you come for a pool. A lot of people come to socialize. We have people that come in to join just to drink a cup of coffee and sit in our lobby and chit chat. But people come in and actually enjoy these other programs that we have to offer. So we do offer your group fitness classes, yoga, Zumba, chair works. There's a lot that's there, but again, we're becoming very diversified in what we do in our program offering. And so we're expanding our services across the board. So I know I threw a lot of information at you guys, but I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. But I, again, truly appreciate you letting me come here and present today. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Okay. Yes. Mhm. Mhm. So, sure. So, looking at what activities the kids do for after school time at the Y, and then you had a second part to it that is. Yeah. Yep. We do. We actually work with both school districts, and they both get bused to our new youth enrichment center. So our Youth Enrichment Center, so I'm gonna answer this a little long-winded. Our Youth Enrichment Center that we just opened, it's 4,000 square feet indoors and a total of 7,000 square feet outdoors. I'm sorry, reverse that. 7,000 square foot indoors, 4,000 square feet outdoors. And so the kids, when they get bused over there, we have an indoor play area for them. So they can work on all their motor skills, but then it can also go outside and play and wear out energy as well. And so that's there at that center. And then the kids that come in, so if you have your holidays where businesses are closed, or spring break or Christmas break, kids come to the Y all the time. Parents come drop them off. We get kids that show up at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, and they're there till 5, 6 o'clock at night until parents are done. They come in, they go into our youth and teen center, they can play air hockey, foosball, ping pong. Because of COVID, we actually expanded where kids can sit, and we expanded our Wi-Fi throughout our entire facility so kids can come in. They can play the video games, they can do homework if they bring in their laptops to do homework as well. Excuse me, we actually have quite a few adults that come in and utilize it as well, the Wi-Fi that's there. It's amazing how many people don't have Wi-Fi in this area, especially county people. And so they actually come join the Y and have that service. But the gym is open. We have a very large gym. Have you been in the Y at all? Been? Okay. Well, if you haven't been in the Y in the last, say, 3 to 4 years, it's completely different now. So I'd encourage you just come get a tour of it. I think you'd enjoy it. But yeah, the kids come in. We have pickleball nets they can pull out and play with. We have hoops that they can, portable hoops they can move around, plus stationary hoops. They play badminton in there. We have a 30-foot rock wall. We have bouldering walls on the side of the wall. So we have a lot of activities for the kids to do. And then on top of that, we actually just spent about $12,000 on inflatable obstacle courses and slides for inside our pool. And so when we have certain holidays off or during summertime, on Saturdays, we bring them out and put them in the pool. So the kids can come there and wear out energy doing that as well. So there is a ton of stuff that's there. And as I've noticed and talked to a lot of groups over the years, a lot of people have really known the Y for 2 basic things: our pool and our weight room. We have a 60,000 square foot building that has so much in it that when I come out, I try to tell people, hey, there's so much more than just a pool and weight room. Yes, sir.
But myriad of activities you have for all ages there. What about your staffing and for that for the kids, for the adults, what sort of staffing?
Sure. So the staffing for all programs and how are we doing with that? We're recovering. So from before COVID had hit, we're actually one of the larger employers in town, believe it or not. Before COVID had hit, we had over 225 staff, and we had over 180 volunteers that worked through the Y itself. And we're currently sitting at about 118 staff, and we've got roughly about 40 volunteers. So we're starting to slowly come back, but the directors that I have there, they're incredibly dedicated and love what we do and know that we have a service that needs to be provided. So many of them that used to work your 40, 45-hour a week jobs are now working 55 to almost 70 hours a week sometimes. It is not an expectation on me that they do that, but it's an expectation that we continue to serve our community. And so as we look to hire staff, we try to make sure that some of that void is filled, but they are very dedicated individuals. I have 10 directors. They're all full-time salaried individuals, and they work their butt off. And so they are helping cover what we're lacking in the part-time staff. Now, the good news is that we have continually posted jobs that we've needed to fill. We would be lucky to maybe get a handful of people over a month or 2 month span. We just reposted some positions, and 2 positions themselves in a matter of 2 weeks. One had over 54 applicants and another one had over 80. And so people again now are looking for work after going on the 2-year hiatus. So does that answer the question you're looking for? Okay. Yeah, is there any way you can pull that up real quick on the website for the Y? So Grants Pass YMCA.org. It's fairly easy to navigate. I think it's fairly easy to navigate. We did a little bit of an overhaul to our website. You can go on, you can look through and just kind of explore all the programs that are there and when they go. Yes. Again, we're always looking at how do we take our next step, and knowing the amount of people that we serve in the aging part of the building. The county does own the building. We have been on a lease. Our lease is going to be up in 2030. We do have first right of refusal for a 25-year expansion or extension to it. Sorry, not expansion, extension. And we're not nervous about losing the building. It's a matter of the aging part of the building and what needs to be invested with roof and just bricks and mortar itself. But we also look at the programs that we're offering and the amount of people that we're getting and what the building can handle. I love to hear what's happening with the library. I think that is fantastic what's going on in the library. I think it is much needed for the community. But similar to like what the library is looking at, saying you're bursting at the seams, it's very, very similar to why. It is still pretty amazing that when I tell people, again, we serve more than 13,000 people a year and have more than 1,200 people a day come through our facility, I usually get like, no, I've never seen that. Come in the mornings, come in the late evenings. It's busy. It's a busy, busy place. So yes, we were looking at possible land. I'd presented some things to the city. I've been trying to talk with other individuals in the area, trying to see how do we partner? How do we utilize some of the space here to serve the community, because we provide jobs, we provide services to families and individuals again. And so it brings a lot of value to the area. Right now it's kind of stalled out. I think there's been a lot of other priorities going on. Library, you have the water plant, there's a lot happening. There's a lot of money going elsewhere. And so maybe in the next 3 to 5 years, it can be a conversation that comes up again. But we do want to constantly look at how we can move forward. So, yep. Yes, ma'am. I have so much to say about that. But I will keep it diplomatic. Yes, there is a brand new, beautiful building right next to us that I have asked the county commissioners, Dan DeYoung, could the Y be potential to take over that building and program it out and utilize it? And I more or less have gotten the answer that we're not sure what we're going to do with the building yet. So I don't know if Travis has other plans. I don't know if he's moved on from that project. I think the state threw him a curveball, and there's a lot more than I probably want to even get into. But there's also a lot of speculation, and I don't want to say something that is not true. And so I do know, and I'm aware that there's a building right next to us. And there's a lot of vacant parking on both sides. And so I think there could be potential. I think the Y could do a lot of great things with that space. But I don't know what their plans are, and they're not being real transparent about it because I don't think they know yet what's going to happen with it. So, yes, sir.
Matt, you don't have to go to too much detail, but just a quick overview of what the fee structure. You mentioned all these programs.
Yeah.
Equipment. Are there different levels of membership that get you different access? Are the classes separate? A little bit.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I appreciate that. And everything is actually on our website.
I did it down.
Okay. All right. Hey, okay, there you go. So yeah, everything is actually listed on our website. We want to make sure we are transparent, communicating about everything that we do and how we do it. And in fact, I want to talk a little bit about scholarships. I was going to ask Allison to come up and talk a little bit about it, as her being our director of financial development. But the fees that are there, actually, a lot of the membership fees are covered by insurances that you have. So I'd encourage you, if you have insurance, come in and just check it out and say, hey, here's my insurance. Do I get a discounted rate, or does this cover this for me? And it might be a yes. So I would encourage you to come in and just check out with your insurance. The fees we try to keep at an affordable rate. We just had to do a small increase because of inflation. 12% inflation can be hard to keep up on, especially when I tell people. It's always funny because people are like, why do you guys charge? And I say, well, when you're trying to meet a $6,000 water bill every month, and you're trying to meet a $4,000 power bill every month, and and then you go into payroll and how much payroll is per month, and I go, hey, it just costs us over $200,000 to run this building monthly, and it's like, oh, here's why we have to charge. So these numbers I'm throwing out are just rough estimate numbers. So understand that there's always a cost of something, but we try to keep our rates at a fairly good price. We do have individual costs, and again, there's a fee structure on here. Thank you for pulling that up. And so you can do it as individual, you can do it as a family, you can do it as a parent plus one. And so there's all types of different fee structures that are there. So what's included, all the fitness classes are included with it, using the weight room, using the pool. The only additional fees really that are out there are going to be the services you saw in the wellness wing. Those are an additional fee. So getting a massage, getting the red light therapy, those are addition. And then you have your childcare costs and preschool costs. Those are going to be in addition as well, because they're all substantially higher in our overall cost to us. So, but for the most part, access to the building, we do have beautiful hydro massage beds too that are there. I would just encourage you, if you have not been in the Y in a while, come in and take a tour of it. I think you'll love it. I think you'll be done with it and go, yeah, I want to join. It's a special place. We constantly, because of the upgrades we made, we're constantly getting compared to the North Side venue. And I always tell people we're not competing with anybody. All we do is we're trying to make sure that we serve the people that come in and that we're doing it the best of our ability. And you know, the Y is a special place as it is. We are the community. We have everybody from your millionaire individual to your people that are in poverty, to people who pay cash, to people that pay by insurance, from your infant to your senior to your family. We have everybody, and that is what makes the Y special. So we love it there. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I just wanted, just in case people don't know, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's actually cool to have a swim meet in from Alfred Border all the way up to Coast.
Yes.
YMCA, you know, all that next to Three Rivers and Grants Pass is there, and all the swim meets there, and so it's really important.
It is incredibly important, and a lot of people don't know that we are the home to all 3 high schools for their swim practices and their swim meets. We actually just upgraded our platforms. I believe it was $36,000 for the 6 swim platforms. They're college level. They are beautiful platforms. The kids were all extremely excited about getting them. Yeah, so the swim meets that come into town, we have people come from Eugene and from Redding and Northern California area. The kids take a lot of pride in coming there, and they love coming and doing the swim meets there. It's actually the largest pool right now in Southern Oregon. It's over 300,000 gallons. So it is a major staple for this area. Saltwater pool, and our hot tub is now saltwater as well. So it's easier on the skin, doesn't dry out, and it's easier on the clothing as well. So
What do people misunderstand about the YMCA supposed to think it's doing?
one is that we are a nonprofit. A lot of people think we're a for-profit business. The other is that we have government funding. We don't have any government funding. We run off our operations. We may get some government or state funding, but that is for specialized programs only. But historically in the past, we've always been just based off our operations. We are able to function as a business by our membership dues and our program dues that come in. And the other small part, I know you probably want to wrap me up here, I'm sorry. I'll take as much time as I can now. Is that, you know, and actually, Allison, I'll cover this real quick because I ran over, sorry. I don't want to take your thunder by any means, but so in 2021, again, we're finishing up our audit for 2022, but in 2021, we gave over $400,000 away in scholarships and discount pay. So that, and we only fundraised about $50,000. So those funds come out of operational dues that we don't meet. And so that's part of our mission, is to make sure we do not turn anyone away for the inability to pay. So when someone comes in and says, I can't afford to pay this membership, my insurance doesn't cover it, we have them fill out a scholarship application form. If kids come in and say, hey, I want to play in the sport, but we can't afford to pay for it, we have them fill out an application. And then we go ahead and grant them a certain amount in scholarship. Same thing for childcare. We do a lot of discount pay in childcare. So in 2021, again, we gave over $400,000 away. And so it's all for helping meet the cause of our community. So those are some of the ones that people don't know or guess or get wrong. So. All right, well, thank you for having me. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. All right, Kelly, you're gonna come up and lead us in our Sergeant at Arms.
Will do.
Wow, I'm impressed. So the last time I was able to do Sergeant at Arms was before MLK Day. So now, to finish up, it's after MLK Day, but certainly not after needing to know a little bit more about a legend. The interesting thing about a legend is that there's always partial truth in it. And legends usually come from a little bit embellishment, but also a little truth. This one is the follow the gourd idea, which was actually a map song. It's the only one that we have left that we really know about, but we know there were many others. They were regional, so the words would change depending on where slaves were escaping from. And as I mentioned last time, slaves used songs that they would sing out in the fields to alert fellow slaves as to how to escape, when to escape. And so one of the legends is that there was a man named Peg-Leg Pete, and Peg-Leg Pete was a sailor, apparently, who had some connection with ships that had brought slaves. And and see, I don't know how much truth there is to this, but I'm guessing a kernel. Pete went to different plantations to do part-time work because he had some skills, but he also had a secret. If they hired him on, which many of them did, he would then teach the songs to the slaves and teach them the map through the songs. How to get a map into their heads and implement so that because most of them were literate. So how to imprint it? Over and over, they would sing these songs. He also would teach them very simple melodies. And they would do something called antiphonal. For any of you that know what that means, or antiphony, that meant that they would do call and response. So he would sing, follow the drinking gourd, and out in the field, you'd hear, follow the drinking gourd, follow the drinking gourd, and they would repeat. And then for the old man's a-coming to carry you away, follow the drinking gourd. Then it would go into different verses, depending on where you live. Well, last time I had mentioned that they were going to cross the Ohio River, and Farron, one of our members, said to me, "You talking Alabama here? The Ohio River does not run through Alabama." But that's because what I hadn't gotten a chance to say was, as they traveled their map at a place called Paducah, Kentucky, that was where they were going to cross the Ohio River. And how they fought the slaves was not, well, you're going to come to Paducah, Kentucky and go 40 miles. No, they couldn't do that. So what they said is, you'll come to two hills with a river between them. Follow that riverbed, and so on. And so it was a very visual map. And so I wanted you to know that these kinds of songs are alive and well, and it's part of our history, and it's part of what brings alive what happened with so many of those slaves, and how many of them got to freedom. And now it's time for some happy bucks, some bad bucks, some crappy bucks. What do we got going on? I will come to you, and up here, we will, hopefully you'll have your hand up, your raised hand. Anybody here have reason to celebrate? Judy, I'm bringing it to you.
I have 10 happy bucks because Kelly knew that was just really cool. And the other part is celebrating Matt Lund, who I worked with him a little bit when he first got here at RTC, and he's just a terrific, wonderful leader. And I'm embarrassed to say it because I don't go often enough, but my insurance pays for me as a Medicare plus person. I pay nothing, go to the Y. And I think it helps them because I think they collect every month whether I show up or not. So that's it. Thanks.
Okay.
I've got 2 stories, so I'm putting down 2 5s, and this has to do with the why. As a team, or a young team, but prior team, they had Y camp, and kind of like the camp that the scouts had up in the mountains, and I used to go every summer to Y camp. But when I graduated from high school and came back to my hometown, I stay at the YMCA hotel. $3 a night.
Okay, anyone else?
Okay, I have 5 happy thoughts for the Y. My middle daughter swims there. She's been on swim team since I think the 5th grade out there at the Y. It's now in the high school team. She's a senior, so this will be the last year. Watch her stuff.
Okay.
Well, I will say, thank you, Matt. We have been talking for a long time.
Yeah.
And through his leadership with the city, and I'm glad to see, you know, that it's not forever not going to be there, but we are under more pressure.
I understand.
You know how you raise your rates because of the inflation? Well, it's not so easy as far as to raise our inflation. So anyway, I get it. So thank you for all that you do in our community. I think it's, you added a lot with maybe conversation. And then I also just got approved for my knee surgery that's coming up, and my insurance is all paying for it, so that was pretty nice. So that's coming up in less than 2 weeks.
I know a good place for you physical therapy.
Let's do it. Okay, everybody on. With a hand up here. All right, well, before I finish, did you see it, Hannah? Okay, before I finish, I don't know if you all know that our new president of the city council is tonight. We are proud.
Thank you, Kelly. Congratulations, Val. That's awesome. All right, next week's program is Crossing Bridges. So we'll learn more about that program. Today is International Environmental Education Day. And it's to remind us to understand and acknowledge the interdependence of man and the environment. And so a quote from Jane Goodall today. You cannot get through a single day without having an impact on the world around you. What you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of a difference you want to make. All right, thank you, and we will see you next week.